Hello, everyone. Some of you may know that today we're dedicating the merit of the practice, at least the Dhammadharini community and those who know her or knew her. We're dedicating the merit of our practice today to Barbara Mayhem. And this is around 100 days since her passing. So what was occurring to me just a short while ago, we can start out with a little bit of a body scanning, but I would like to lead a practice that's called Chaga Nusati, which could flow into mudita bhavana, but it's a reflection on one's own goodness. And I was just thinking, because of Barbara reflecting on her goodness, but I think that if we bring up joy in our hearts for the good that we've done in our lives or are doing currently, the fact that we've taken on this practice of meditation is something also that can bring up joy. So anything that brings up joy in our hearts about our own goodness to start with, and then we can start reflecting on other people's goodness. I'm just inviting you. I'm going to start with a body sweep, like we usually do, a body scanning. It's another way, it's another name for it. And if you don't care to do the Chaga Nusati, then you can do mindfulness of breathing or anything else you're accustomed to. But and I think the dedication of the joy that we bring up in our hearts can be, we can extend that to Barbara, wherever her consciousness may be. And then to all beings. So if you get yourself in a position that you can hold reasonably, and for about 45 minutes, and then we'll make sure the bell is within reach. We'll end with the bell, and we'll have a little bit of time for questions at the end. So starting with the feeling of the presence of the body in the room. Good way to start is just feeling the contact of the body against the cushion, against the seat, whatever your body is making contact with, whatever is supporting the body. Feet on the floor, or the legs against the cushion, and the buttocks against the seat or the cushion. And wherever contact is being made, the arms and hands against the body, other parts of the body. Clothing against the skin, the temperature of the air. And as you're doing this, you can check the alignment of the body. And if you need to move slightly just to get a settled, comfortable position, that's fine. And starting with the soles of the feet, just bring your awareness upwards. And kind and gentle awareness, inviting any muscles that seem tense to relax, and having kindness and care towards anywhere there's discomfort. From the soles of the feet to the top of the head. And you might feel the expanding and contracting of the body, which is the natural movement of the breath. And bringing your awareness to that area that we call the heart, the center of the chest. Just getting in touch with that, bringing your kind attention there. And allowing that rhythm of the breath expanding and contracting the chest and that general region. Bring up a thought of some act of kindness, maybe a random act of kindness. Perhaps recently, or something that you've done intentionally to help others. Even if it's something as simple as putting water out for the birds. Or opening the door for another person. How did that feel? Something to bring joy to your heart. Or just the fact that you've dedicated yourself to this practice, which is actually quite significant. Anything that you gave or did that brought comfort and ease to another being, brought happiness, a smile to another person. And just experiencing the feeling in the heart and the body. And there's the wish to share that joy with others. Expanding the joy throughout the body and then outwards. And knowing that there are others in the world that take joy in helping others, that we can enjoy, rejoice in their goodness. You can think of someone in particular and rejoice in their goodness, bringing up, building on the joy and rejoicing on our own goodness, extending that to others, rejoicing in their goodness. There's a rejoicing joy, appreciative joy. And feel it in the heart and the body, and extending outwards to others. And if your mind is drifting off into thought, you can just bring your attention back to the feeling in the body. The in and out expanding of the chest and the heart. Remembering your own goodness or the goodness of others. And as we end this period, you can, if you choose to, dedicate the merit, this joy that you're generating, extending the joy to Barbara or someone that you wish to share this goodness. Goodness that you reflected upon, the goodness of the practice we're engaging in, rejoicing in one another, one another's goodness and dedication to the path. May all beings be happy. May they not be parted from the good fortune they have attained. So we'll open this up now for questions and comments. This was somewhat of an experiment for me because I haven't led a mudita and chaganusati meditation. And a couple of years ago, I actually tried to research and see if there was guided meditation on mudita, and I found one. There's much more dedicated to metta bhavana or karuna, loving kindness or compassion. But it's in the teachings, it's the chaganusati and the metta, the mudita. I mean, these are both reflections. I think the chaga is a later addition. I may be wrong. Someone might be able to correct me on that. But I think that rejoicing in our own goodness came a little later. But it is something that's been in the teachings, maybe commentarial. And I've heard Ajahn Brahm and other teachers recommend it, but I haven't yet run across. I haven't looked recently, but anyway. But the one I had heard, they did start with the chaganusati, with the reflecting on our own goodness, and then reflecting. They started out with oneself, and then thinking about someone who's we admire, that's like a teacher or somebody, and then that was specifically for mudita, and then someone we were just acquainted with, and then someone we maybe had difficulty with, but there are some good qualities about them. But I didn't want to get into that kind of detail for this. So I just thought I would offer that. And I hope that worked well for you. And then, like I was saying, whenever you, you have the choice of choosing a different object of meditation if it's not working for you well, but it's good to give it a try. It's just one of the meditations that brings up joy. We should not be afraid to rejoice in our own goodness. We should, and this is reinforcing our capacity to do good for others. If we are rejoicing while we're doing it, it actually is supposed to, according to the Buddha's teaching, be more meritorious. Like if I'm grumpily doing something for others, then the other people are going to sense that. and I won't benefit from it, and the other people may benefit because I did something, but it's not bringing more joy to the world that way. If I'm joyfully helping others, and also rejoicing, like a memory of something I did, then I'll be more motivated to do more for others, but also rejoicing in our own practice. So this is and then sharing that merit with others. This is just expanding it even more. So this is what my idea for today was, to share the merit with Barbara or anyone else that we would care to share for. So does anyone have a comment or question about their experience that worked well for them, I hope? Were you able to experience some joy? Yes. This practice isn't all about suffering. I mean, the Buddha says we should be aware of the dukkha, but one of the benefits is becoming more and more released from the causes of suffering and experiencing happiness. I see a hand, Anne flicked on, and then Rachel flicked on. So I see Rachel's face now, and then Anne's hand has gone down.
I don't know what happened. My hand went away.
So who would like to go first? Is there?
Go ahead, Anne.
Oh, thank you.
I'll let Anne go first. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm not sure what joy is. I can rejoice. I can rejoice in others' goodness, and I can rejoice in my own good fortune to be following the path. But I'm not sure I can feel joy for the good things I do for others. I'm not sure. Could you explain a little bit what that feeling is? I'm not sure.
Oh, I could just start really simply, like I put water out in a dish, and I intended it to be for the birds. And then I walked by, and then I did see a bird, and it was like splashing around in the water, and it made me so happy. I felt so happy seeing that I had done something, and some other little being was benefiting or enjoying it. I mean, it really, I don't know. It looked like it was happy. It looked like it was enjoying it. I think they enjoy splashing. And it's just so rejoicing, and like somebody has got some heavy things in their arm, and you open the door for them, and they're thank you. It's like a random acts of kindness. So
I see.
just reflecting on those kind of it can be little things like that, or maybe some people have professions that are aimed at helping others. I was a nurse for a while in my life, for a number of years. And so I might reflect, I was also a nurse's aide. And it was actually when I was working in the nursing home, and I was thinking about how I was young and had energy, and I just really enjoyed helping them. I had a lot of joy in helping them. And I had a lot of respect for elders at the time. And so they were all like my grandparents, all of them.
Wonderful.
So that's just an example. And then one time I was feeling really grouchy. And then I remembered, oh, that time in the nursing home when I was just, and it actually brought joy to my heart to remember that. And I said, I was really happy doing that, helping others.
I see what you're saying. I was focusing too much on me, I think, just because I know when I do something and I look at the other person or the bird, that does make me very happy, so maybe it was just focusing too much on viewing myself doing something happy instead of seeing the results of what I did. That seems to be more joyful to me. Like you were saying, when you see what you've done for someone and how it makes them feel, then you feel the joy.
Yes, that's kind of, I guess that's, but we're rejoicing in the fact that that might kickstart that joy, but we're also rejoicing in that. I was rejoicing that, I had all that energy and I could do that. I could actually do that then. Isn't that wonderful? And that person at that time was doing that. That, if you're thinking of non-self, this is a different body than it was, 50 years ago or however long it was, 30 years, 40 years ago or something. Anyway, somewhere between there. So to bring up the joy, either just thinking that they benefited and remembering that they smiled or they appreciated it too, or they benefited it somehow. And then, but bringing that joy, like I was saying, if we can, while we're doing it, and so this is all, it all kind of multiplies. We're rejoicing in our own goodness. We're rejoicing that the other person benefited from it. And then the next time we do something for others, we can do it joyfully.
Oh, thank you. That's very beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome. So Patipada had her virtual hand up and I don't see her now.
Yeah. Yes, but I have to be off camera because my reception is not that great.
Okay, so you can just have your,
so I can speak.
Let me put this in gallery view.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, I didn't turn off the live stream, so if we'll just continue because if you don't mind speaking, this live streamed, but
No, I don't mind.
okay.
One of the things I learned growing up from my grandmother is she said, when you wake up in the morning, you choose how your day is going to start. And so she would say, choose joy, because you can never go wrong with that. It didn't make sense to me at the time, but it does now. It really does, because the reality is the mind is skittish and it would jump all over the place. But once I choose to be happy and joyful in the morning, that stays with me during the day. So no matter what I do it with that memory of her saying, choose joy. So that has served me quite well in some of the most difficult experiences that I've gone through. So I just wanted to share a family memory about this. And your guided practice was very helpful, because I've always had challenges taking this joy that's bubbling up inside, and then when the guidance shifts to the focus of, and someone who you have difficulty with, it's like something hits the brake.
Oh, uh-huh.
Sometimes. So this was an opportunity to just stay with the effervescence of the joy, and that was quite helpful. And that's how Barbara was when we would spend time around that table at the monastery. She had this laugh that made me laugh, very happy person. And she was effervescent whenever she was at that monastery. So your guidance and all of these memories coming up, all about effervescent joy, was just an amazing experience for me. So I just wanted to say thank you for that.
You're welcome. Yeah. And yeah, it should be a felt experience. And that's why I was trying to guide to the sensation in what we call the heart and the whole body, actually. And yeah, we're just using the little bits of, even just little bits of memories to bring up that joy. And then when we get to the mudita part, then we're extending it out to other people. And we can be specific about their goodness, like good activity, or just the fact that they're good people in the world. And that may be the more simple way to do it, that isn't going to disrupt that building up of the joy, bringing up because it's called, one translation of mudita is rejoicing joy. That's my favorite.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, and then
sympathetic
joy, altruistic joy, appreciative joy. It's got joy. Every translation I've come across has joy in it. So yeah, that's what we're doing, building up, and then when it starts to expand outwards, then we're getting into more to mudita. Right. So Bob has had his hand up for a little bit. So Bob,
thank
please.
you. Yeah. So what I got to see is, while I certainly do things like, hold doors for people and they say thank you and I feel good in the moment, that my work and most of what I do has to do with ending suffering at some time in the future, not in the moment. So rather than feeling like joy, it feels like hard work, and I have to, remember, and often I don't. I mean, I guess that the challenge is to remember what the intent is behind it, and to feel uplifted by that, rather than just focusing on the hard work. So there's one thing, in a sense, when you get the immediate reinforcement, to use that word, or immediate acknowledgement that you have brought joy to someone else, and you could have the sympathetic joy with it. But yeah, a lot of, at least speaking for myself, a lot of my life is not about that. It's about working toward more joy in the future, relieving suffering in the future, and all that. And it's just harder to remember to be joyful in the midst of that. So that's my share. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, Bob. And I think what might be helpful is that if you reflect on the fact that you have this intention, that you're a person that is intending to help others. This is your your motivation to do your work.
Mhm.
And I don't know if you ever see, like, it sounds like it's kind of virtual work where you're connecting people or whatever you're doing, sharing information, do whatever it is that you're doing to help others. I don't have a good idea about that, but I don't know if you ever see the results of that.
Not often. A lot of it is very long-term. Yes, some things sooner rather than later, but the real results are more long-term.
Yeah. So I think that the fact that I know you've chosen this profession or this particular job because it was a job that was helpful to other beings, other people. So rejoicing in the goodness of that goodness, particularly, not necessarily that the goodness of oneself, that, that this is, I'm not just trying to get a job that's really lucrative. I could have another job that made a lot more money, but I've chosen this because in my heart, I want to help others. And so that might be a little difficult. If you don't see the direct results. Yeah. But still. but then you just remember opening up the door for somebody or something like that. That's another the fact that you care for others to do even little things. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. I see my friend from Santa Cruz is here. Happy to see her. And Kusala's got a virtual hand up.
Yes, thank you. Just with Bob's sharing, it reminded me of the Buddha's reflections on generosity. And when we, with generosity, to reflect on the gladness in the heart when we're planning to be generous, the gladness in the heart when we're doing it, and the gladness in the heart on the reflection of what we have given or what we have done. It just reminded me of that. Yeah, right now I'm helping a friend empty out her sister's house who just got committed to assisted living memory care. And, just being in the moment of cleaning the stuff out, that's not bringing joy in the moment because it's sad. But what brings joy is reflecting on the bigger picture of the helping of the sisters. When things are done, it'll be joyful that it's done. But, so to be with the sadness of the moment, but when I focus on the bigger picture, the gladness in the heart.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Kusala. That's a good point too, because sometimes the helping that we do is, because people are in a lot of pain, or because it's a difficult situation. It's a hard, it's the reality of the aging person needing that kind of care. But yeah, the big picture, and then just that your willingness to help others. And something occurred to me when we at the monastery, our abbess said, we need to prepare for the storm that's coming. Those big storms that were coming in. So we had to go out into the yard and make sure everything was secure because there was wind and rain, really strong wind and rain coming. So I saw somebody was upset and they were angry because they were disturbed from whatever they were doing, and suddenly we're all out in the yard doing stuff. And I said, if you need to do it, you might as well do it joyfully. Whatever you're doing, you might as well do it joyfully. And I think it's something that like Patipada, Rachel had, this waking up in the morning to just determining I'm going to be joyful today. And you know, it might be hard, but I think we can, this is something we can develop in ourselves, just even though it's difficult. And Dakota has had her hand up for a little while.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this. I've really enjoyed it. I wanted to comment about what Anne said. Sometimes when something is so intense that we're dealing with, you know, you were very candid about not feeling joy, and it's easy to feel like that's all there is whatever this big thing is. And it reminded me of some advice that a friend of mine was given once, who suffered from very intense migraines. And she was advised, and it was very much like Vipassana meditation and how I deal with pain when I'm sitting. She was advised to find a point right in the center of the pain and to feel it objectively, and then to find 2 points that were outside of the pain and also to feel them, because it helps us build our mental capacity to be able to move between these. And so what we've been talking about this morning, these really subtle acts that bring us joy, that can be, if you can find a place, you know, one instance that you know that brought you joy, and use that as a counterbalance to whatever else is going on, that might be helpful. Thank you.
Thank you, Dakota. That's really good point. That's so often this practice of mudita is reflecting on other people's good fortune. But the one guided meditation I did find, this was Bhante Buddha Rakita. I think that's his name. He's a student of Bhante Gunaratana. He's from Uganda. And he was talking about the goodness, really about their goodness, good accomplishments, and the goodness of the people. So the goodness, the Chaganusati is specifically about our own good actions. And just little things like Dakota and I was also mentioning, just what is it that brought us joy? Just that we, even saying hello to somebody, sometimes people are, that we've paid attention to them, but we listen to them, that we've put a little bit of birdseed out or something. So appreciate everyone's. I want to say hello specifically to my friend from Santa Cruz. I'm really happy that she was able to join us.
May I speak?
Yeah, certainly. Please say something.
Hello, everyone. Thanks, that was great. I just really enjoyed it. I love to meditate. And I did think of one small thing when we were thinking of small things, when you were talking about it in the, I'm sorry, skip the word. And mine was that I knew this woman once, and I was meant to care for her and give her things that she needed. She was about 95 at the time. And I don't know how old I was, 60 something. But I taught her how to play a game of cards. And because she was sad and I wanted to lift her spirits, and I thought this might do it. Was lots of colors of the cards, and it was a children's game. phase tune. And so after I taught her how to play it, and she realized that she could play it, and we played it a lot, she just got such a big laugh out of it every now and then, and it really touched my heart.
Yeah, that's
Well,
beautiful.
good to see you, my friend.
Yeah, it's good seeing you too. Yeah, it's those things. It's not like really like, you know, changing the world or something, but just doing something that brings happiness to people, individuals. I mean, doing bigger projects, it's like Bob was saying, it's maybe much more abstract and we're not really seeing the results, but these little things like that will help us lift our hearts. And if we're a happy person in the world, it brings joy to others. So I guess I'll leave it at that unless there's another comment or question. And this afternoon, our sutta discussion is starts at 1. And that's going to be a little shorter today because we have a memorial service in the afternoon starting at 2:30 for Barbara Mahan. And if you would like to join that and you haven't already received an invitation, you can write Dhammadharini.monastery at google.com and then ask for an invitation and they'll send you the link. And there's maybe 1 or 2 here, maybe joining live, but if you'd like to join the memorial. And the sutta discussion is posted as usual, but it's just shorter today. And that's also dedicated to Barbara. So thank you all. And appreciate all of your dedication to the practice, and that brings me joy. It brings me joy seeing you all, and all your sharing also. Appreciate all your sharing. So we'll end with the dedication to the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. If you have a Buddha image, somehow the light in this has gone out. Let me see if I can do something about that. There's a light. Oh, well. A little bit. So I think we might have a, yes, did you want to say something?
We have another Zoom program.
Okay, so we're just going to bow out. So I was just trying to illuminate the Buddha image in case people didn't have an image in there. And then we'll do the English, if you know it. The Lord, the perfectly enlightened and blessed one, I render homage to the Buddha, the blessed one. The teaching so completely explained by him, I bow to the Dhamma. The Blessed One's disciples who have practiced well, I bow to the Sangha. Thank you all for your kind attention. Wishing you joy in the day today and all days.
Thank you, Aya.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you,
Aya.
Aya.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.